Well, you can see it's a long starting line down into a left-hand first corner. Let's take a ride right now with Blackfoot Honda's John Sebastian Wall. This is down into the first corner. You see the 3 jumps there. Each one gets a little higher. He doubles out the last 2. This next straightaway is going to be real interesting off the start because you got everyone bunched up. There's a lot of different options through there into this left-hand bank turn. This whoop section is more difficult than anyone I've seen so far this year because right here at the end they get bigger, deeper, and further apart. A lot of guys struggling through there in practice this afternoon. Wall looking to his right, that's Robbie Raynard passing him over the big finish line double jump. And into this section you can either double over that jump or from there over this one. Right-hand sweeper, you get a little speed up here to the first triple, 65 feet through the air. Then I thought some guys might try to jump all 4 of these, but they couldn't make the corner. A lot of guys going to the inside right there. Another rhythm section, quite a few options through there. Wall going to the inside right here. Why waste time? Go out wide, leave that door open. You jump up on top of this plateau to get a run at the next triple. And as soon as you go into this right-hand corner, you'll look to your left, get the signal from your mechanics, and you're back down the start straight into turn 1.
Carmichael, Villeman, Wyndham. Boy, we got some great riders here. As you see the Suzuki starting lineup, Tim Ferry's doing well in that 4-stroke. Sebastian Tortelli, one of the leading privateers, Voss. Ezra Lusk doing a fine job in the semifinal, finding a new route to success through the wicked whoops. And it's get nervous time as the 32nd board is about to go up. They're revving up the machines and we're ready to go from the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Carmichael gets another great start. And he comes out of it bar to bar with Tim Ferry, number 15 on the 1st-stroke Yamaha. David Villeman now in 3rd.
Once again, Carmichael gets the whole shot. LaRocco beats McGrath off the line. McGrath is
He's in 6th.
Just stuffed. Lost. They should come on there. He did. He got by him, so he moves up 1 spot.
There you see our leaders out in front going over the triple. Carmichael, Ferry, Villeman, LaRocco, and McGrath. Right now, McGrath is approaching LaRocco as we take a look out in front.
That's just not good enough to catch number 4. Look at the lead. He's already got it. You let this kid get out in front.
And look at that, Jeremy knows it. He is on the steam. Jeremy McGrath. Happened by him. Works plastic with Ferry.
You can see how impatient he is to get to the front. He's already gotten around LaRocco, got around Lusk. He's going after Ferry.
He has Ferry and Villeman out in front of him.
This is panic time for Jeremy. You cannot afford to stay back here and be 1 second slower a lap for the next 2 or 3 laps. You just don't get that back against Carmichael this year.
What a psychological blow this would be for McGrath on his track.
Villeman has gone down, so there goes 2nd place.
Ferry into 2nd place, McGrath up into 3rd.
See, Carmichael just went by him. Villeman crashed so bad he went completely through the berm there, off onto the other section of the racetrack.
Let's check it out on a replay. Number 934, David Villeman. It looked like he was off to one of his best races.
Now he's approaching this left-hand corner. He's got a triple right here. He's got one more little bump to hop over. Then he gets into this left-hand berm. His foot slips off the peg. Right over the handlebars. Now he's completely in the other section of the racetrack. So when he got up, Carmichael went by the other way. The last lap, Carmichael posted a 59 or 52.9. These guys, 52.4.
Maybe McGrath can make it down. The black pass on Ferry. The crowd goes wild. McGrath has won here 6 consecutive times, losing only last year in Minneapolis to David Villeman. Our leader is Ricky Carmichael. He came to this race leading 78 of the last 80 laps, winning a string of 6 in a row, led 102 out of a possible 120, and that's only 1 hole shot. So this race takes an importance for Mike LaRocco, even though he's not out in front.
LaRocco.
John Sebastian Laws, we go on board with him.
Yeah, we get a good look right there. There goes Wyndham right on the inside. These guys a triple and into that left-hand corner. This left-hand corner is where Villeman's foot slipped off the peg. He flew over that right there.
Great shot from the helmet cam. Let's go to Davey. Looks like Villeman's out of the race.
You're right, David. Villeman's bad night got worse. Not only did he miss getting scored, he crashed again. According to the guys in the Yamaha pit, he's got a separated shoulder.
Oh, no. Another injury here in the 250s. David Villeman with a separated shoulder. But it looked like this was going to be a great night for him.
And something has happened to Ezra Lusk because McGrath is in second place again.
Ezra Lusk has gone down again. Jeremy McGrath is down to 4.8 seconds. The lead for Carmichael as Jeremy's in second place, trying to move as smoothly as possible, but trying to
He's going to get the white flag.
last lap. Carmichael is on his way to passing Mark Barnett on the AMA's all-time career win list.
It's important for Jeremy, even though if McGrath, if Ricky can hang on and win this, it's important for McGrath to close the gap. Let Ricky know that he's just as fast, if not a little bit faster, down the stretch of the race. They'll think about that next week.
Carmichael just moments away from victory, his 7th straight victory.
I don't even like the way he went through there the last time.
Here comes the first rider since McGrath in '96 to win at least 7 in a row. Ricky Carmichael. Let's take a look at the Honda scoreboard right now with Ricky Carmichael again winning. McGrath and Morocco on the podium with Kevin Windham and Tim Ferry rounding out the top 5.
I tell you what, man, it feels so awesome. I tell you what, I got an awesome start, and Bridgestone tires were hooking up off of the gate tonight, and that's what it took for me. And I got out there, and David was on my tail for a while, and managed to keep my cool. And I was pulling away from those guys, and then the lappers were just horrible tonight. And you know, that's the way it goes, and it feels good to break the records, but it feels way better if I can win the championship.
Yeah, you know, I got out right. Me and Morocco kind of got out side by side, and he got a great jump. And I kind of had to tuck into fourth going in the first corner and get a little, you know, situated there. And then Yogi got by me and kind of was stuck, you know. I made a pass on Mike, and then I passed Ezra, but I was behind Ferry, and I kind of got blocked up a little bit. He was riding his butt off, but I was trying to get around, and I just couldn't get around, so it took me a while to get situated.
Morocco embedded in third place in points as RC now holds a 29-point lead over McGrath as the Honda scoreboard shows us Lusk's troubles drop him 7 points in back of Windham and Floyd. This track here at the Astrodome is the most technical we've seen all season. We saw a lot of yellow flags in practice. Let's take a look now at the speed stick track map.
A little bit shorter start than we're used to seeing here in the Astrodome. That's because they left all the rest of the floor to build a great racetrack. You see the first rhythm section right out of the first corner. It keeps you busy. Make a sharp left over the triple. Then you go underneath the finish line, jump into the first whoop section. A right, the next triple. And you see that long section in blue there, the trickiest whoop section of the year. And they have a little S-turn before they hit the finish line jump.
Kevin Windham and Mike Morocco, Ezra Lusk and Tim Ferry. The mechanical problems of Jeremy McGrath, that also was a story.
Well, you know, the thing is that McGrath didn't really pay the price after having to come out of that semi. He looks like he's lined up, as is Carmichael, where they would have been had they won their heat. So it wasn't that much of a penalty. And Windham, who has shined all night, he's got the fastest lap time, the fastest heat race. He's lined up to the outside of the starter box, on the other side of that AMA Pro Racing box. That could be a sign of confidence.
There's Jeremy McGrath putting on his goggles. We're revving up, and we're getting ready to see if Carmichael can win his 8th straight, or will someone else break the string?
Tim Ferry, I believe, got the SMX.com Whole Shot Award, but it's Ezra Lusk fighting it out with Kevin Windham. Could Kevin Windham make this a breakthrough race here tonight? Desperately needing a win.
He desperately needed a whole shot. He's got Lusk there to push him. McGrath finally beats Carmichael and Morocco off the line, and he did a little stuff to Ferry in that first lap. He could not afford to be behind Ferry like he's been so many times this year.
One of the factors is, can Carmichael get by Ferry quicker than by Tim Ferry.
That was aggressive. He had to get in there and just make that happen. He muscled his way by. See, McGrath pulls off one of those tearaways, clears that vision a little bit more, gets ready to go to work.
What an interesting order we've got right now. As you see Jeremy McGrath in third place. DeCoster believes he'll win one before the season's over.
Look at McGrath.
McGrath makes the pass on Lusk. So does Ricky Carmichael.
Well, Wyndham's going to feel some heat now, and that'll be the story. If he can hold these guys off, well, Roger DeCoster's the man for being able to turn him around because he's never been able to hold off this kind of pressure. He's come from behind, but he's never holding these guys off when they've gotten great starts.
He's averaging a 5.5 finish. And here's a guy who has 6 Supercross wins.
Look at the different lines, McGrath and Carmichael. These guys are crisscrossing all over the place. They could get together. Look at that, beautiful. McGrath lays it over and cuts down the inside. Carmichael goes to the outside. Different lines here again.
McGrath holding on to the edge.
Lusk's got to be good back there in fourth. Oh, geez, this pace is fast. These guys have really picked it up. Already, all the top 3 guys are running 56s.
Wyndham in first. McGrath a second behind. Carmichael 2 behind. And Lusk is only 3 seconds behind. Davey.
Well, I got to tell you guys something. Ricky Carmichael doesn't like to make excuses, but before the race, we found out RC's got a cold, and he said it's been affecting him all day. He doesn't like to make excuses. McGrath doesn't need an excuse, but just keep it in mind toward the late going to this race.
And Carmichael is on the back rubber and makes the pass on McGrath. Incredible racing now as McGrath tries to come back on Ricky.
Look at McGrath, so quick to go. Okay, I know Ricky's been taking that inside. He's probably going to go there. Made the switch.
Here comes McGrath.
McGrath does not like to ride dirty, Art. He doesn't want it done to him, but it just got done to him. And I think he's not too worried about getting back in there and doing it back, but he's got to stay close enough.
He's got to keep the pressure on Ricky Carmichael as they go through those cavernous whoops.
Now, here's something to keep in mind. What Davey was saying about Ricky having a cold. His ears are a little bit plugged. That affects your equilibrium. 1985, I was leading the main event. 3 laps to go. I couldn't tell. My bike slipped into neutral in the corner. Fell over, lost the race, finished 4th. That could be something to think about down the stretch here as Ricky tries to close the gap on Wyndham.
Kevin Wyndham out in front, holding on to a lead, but Ricky Carmichael is close. It's usually this time of the year that Wyndham starts stringing podiums and gaining wins. He finished last season with 5 consecutive podiums, including his 6th Supercross victory of his career. But can he hold off the hottest rider in Supercross?
Well, these guys are starting to get away from Jeremy a little bit, but once Ricky gets close enough to Kevin, they're going to start having to block each other slightly unless Ricky can get by with a mistake or something, and that'll allow McGrath to get right back up on these guys.
We're going to go to a break, but right now, Ricky Carmichael takes the lead. Ricky Carmichael with a brilliant move. Can Wyndham come back on him right now? Oh, this is a great race.
I had no idea that Kevin was going to leave the door that open. Ricky, that was no problem. He went right to the inside. I don't think Kevin realized he was that close to him.
They've got a lapper in front of it. Here comes Wyndham, but Ricky's got the slingshot effect. And here comes McGrath, fishtailing. He gets by Wyndham. Jeremy McGrath using that aggressive move, just like he did last week. There's no question McGrath wants to win races.
Second's not going to help him do anything in terms of the title, but, you know, 11 out of 20 laps is a long ways to go. And if Jeremy wanted to put pressure on Ricky, now he's got clear sailing up to him. He was able to jump a couple of things that he wasn't able to jump when he was behind Kevin. Maybe that will enable him to close the gap. He's already starting to pull away slightly. He feels the pressure, and he is riding a little bit on the edge right now to preserve second place. He needs it for his confidence. Ricky's ruined his confidence tonight. He needs to beat everybody else, though.
The final lap is underway.
Ricky Carmichael would be only 2 wins away from becoming the second winningest active rider now.
That last time they went to Anaheim Stadium, Ricky came from behind. That was the most impressive race I've seen him ride so far in the season because of the way he won it. He's doing that again here tonight. This is on par with that type of victory, having to come from behind, having to do it with a little bit of a cold. It's impressive. He just outclassed these guys tonight.
RC only moments away from winning his 9th of the year, his 8th straight. He would tie Brock Glover on the all-time Supercross list with his 10th victory, and there's the checkered flag. RC has done it again. On the Honda scoreboard, Ricky Carmichael, McGrath, and LaRocco on the podium. The Rockets' 4th straight podium on the year.
It feels good, Davey. I tell you what, I had to work for that one. I proved myself. I started from behind and went to the front, and it's been a tough week for me. As you can tell, I got a cold, and that heat race over there, man, I jammed my thumb pretty bad, and I was kind of down in the dumps. But you know, that's the cards that were dealt to me, and in order to be a champion, you have to fight through that stuff.
Ricky ups his points lead to 32 over the defending champion Jeremy McGrath, and Ricky Carmichael eliminating from the championship race up to Tortelli with 5 races remaining. Let's take a look at the speed stick track map.
A little bit shorter start here in St. Louis than we've seen in years past. Into a tight left-hand first corner. That could get a little close there in the main events. On around to the first triple jump, where they go over the big EA Sports Bridge and head around into the whoop section. Let's take a ride now with Pedro Gonzalez, 3rd overall in the Arena Cross Series this year. Heading into the first corner. That's Jason Thomas on the Husqvarna up ahead. This is the approach to the first triple. You see the rut starting to develop. That's going to get worse. Pedro triples that. You see the difference in speed there as Jason Thomas only goes for the double. This is up over the EA Sports tunnel. Right after that, you got a tricky double jump with some whoops going down the backside. And this is where it gets really hard. Now this tight left, the whoop section. There's only one of them here tonight, but it's so tough. I don't think these guys want any more. After they go across the starting line, they got a couple of little corkscrews before another triple, a sharp left, and onto the finish line.
Let's check out the Suzuki starting lineup. Ricky Carmichael, Jeremy McGrath, Kevin Windham, Travis Pastrana, just before the race, has dropped off the gate. As you see the rest of the starting lineup, as we anticipate another good challenge. The 30-second board is up. The revving begins from St. Louis, Missouri. The 250 is underway. Carmichael, the hole shot. But look at Mike LaRocco. Unbelievable. He loves this track. Bar to bar. Can he stay with Carmichael?
Now, LaRocco had an opportunity there to shove Ricky out into those hay bales, and he was a little nice through there. That was the last lap. You can see a whole different picture.
Ricky Carmichael, LaRocco. Here comes Jeremy McGrath passing Lusk in the whoops. Number 4 is Carmichael. 5, LaRocco. There's McGrath and Lusk, number 11.
And you got a little bit of a buffer. Casey Johnson, Voss, Pavoni back to Windham. Windham, the only other guy that could really be a problem out front for Carmichael. Carmichael already opening up a lead, Art. As soon as he gets that 30 or 40 feet, man, how do you get it back?
Well, last week he had to prove that even when things go wrong, he can pull things out of the hat. He had a cold, he crashed, he started 4th, and he still won. Now, he's got the advantage that he's taken and dominated other races in that string of victories, and is pulling away from Mike LaRocco.
We've seen this a bunch of times this year. McGrath and Lusk working their way up through the pack. These guys used to be the ones out front battling for the win.
Remember, it was right here in St. Louis that Ezra Lusk put the hit
on Jeremy McGrath, put him down, and that was for a second-place finish.
That's right. Big controversy there. Jeremy's saying, hey, he intentionally took me out. Ezra going, hey, I just want to get on. I want to get something besides third.
Wyndham won that race in '98. Since that time, Jeremy McGrath won 3 of the last 4 races here in St. Louis.
Okay, and I'm not sure if Lusk made a mistake or not, but McGrath pulled away from him, got right up on the back tire of LaRocco when they came around the finish line turn. LaRocco came out of the corner, saw Jeremy's wheel there. He's going to start feeling that pressure. That's going to let Carmichael probably have even a few more feet out front.
I suspect the battle will be between McGrath and LaRocco here for second place, because Jeremy McGrath is already out to a 3.5-second lead.
You know, I have a hunch that the setup that McGrath is going for, as we take a look at Wyndham right here, trying to work his way up. McGrath's setup of the bike, you know, he talked about changing it quite a bit back in Minneapolis. And what you have to do is play the percentages. The setup, the best setup doesn't necessarily get you the best start. If you go for a great setup to get the start, once you get out on the track, you pay a little bit of a price. They're still trying to go back and forth and find that happy medium, but right now it seems to be hurting his starts, Art.
Boy, this kind of domination for Ricky Carmichael puts a lot of emphasis now on the final race of the year, not for the points race, but for the mere fact that he's approaching records for Jeremy McGrath that many thought would be very, very difficult to break, and that is 14 wins in a season and 13 wins in a row.
You're being too nice. Very, very difficult or impossible. I mean, 13 wins in a row, come on. Who can do that with the kind of talent we have right now? I would have never thought Carmichael. Oh, Carmichael just underneath our little graphic there, just about crashing that corner. Pulled it off again. But I just didn't think anybody would have a shot at coming close to that 13 in a row of McGrath or 14 in a single season. I thought maybe those days were gone with all these guys starting to step up, but Carmichael has found a level. I think he's even faster than what he's showing, Art. Look at this. McGrath leaned into that hay bale, got stuck on it when he was behind LaRocco, and he was stuck there. He couldn't get up. He didn't have a leg or an arm to push himself up high enough. So, what a lousy night for Jeremy.
Look at this.
Here it is again. Jeremy gets hung up a little bit when he goes into that berm behind. He was stuck there. He's just going, come on.
And look at Wyndham. Wyndham has now moved into second place, but he's 16.1 seconds behind the leader as Ricky Carmichael takes the white flag.
Well, just like all the years that Jeremy dominated, the guys that were getting second there were like, hey, not bad. Feels like a win. And for Kevin right now, especially to fight his way up into it and pass Ezra, you know, and he was pushing McGrath when McGrath made his mistake. This is what I like to see from Kevin, fighting. He's fought his way into a solid second.
Well, he had 3 podiums coming into the race, but his best was a second in New Orleans. And so he's getting back on track a little bit now. But Ricky Carmichael through the tunnel. Good job from Chad Watts, his wrencher. They go through the S's. Carmichael holding destiny in his own hands right now. Oh!
He's got a little freestyle of his own.
There was a time he couldn't bend over that far. The checkered flag for Carmichael. Win number 11 on his career. He ties the mark as the second winningest active rider in Supercross. Carmichael, followed by Kevin Wyndham, Ezra Lusk, Jeremy McGrath, a lonely 4th, and another 5th for Tim Ferry. That seems to be his favorite position.
You know, it's been a bit nerve-wracking. I've been under a lot of stress for this title, and I just want to keep plugging away, and see what happens. You know, it's a long series and anything can happen.
My bike put me to a great start. You know, everything was going great. I just pushed in there a little bit hot as well as with some other people, and right down there at those NGK banners, man, I almost went off the whole track, and wound up put me in about 8th or 9th. I'm not sure exactly, but you know, I said, well, you know, this is what I need. I'm not nervous. I know what I need to do. I want to get up there on the podium, and luckily I was able to do it.
Ricky Carmichael increases his lead to 39 points over Jeremy McGrath. A 19th place finish for Mike LaRocco makes things closer, but he's still in 3rd with Kevin Wyndham in 4th.
Carmichael this year, if he keeps winning, he's going for his 10th win tonight in a row. He could match Jeremy's 13 in a row back in '96.
Let's take a look at the track map sponsored by Speed Stick. You got that long start, the longest of the year.
And it goes right into a sharp left-hand corner. It looks tight. These guys have been getting through their safe so far. Down a rhythm section, the next straightaway across the starting line. Then they're going to make a left under the tunnel jump, around to the triple, over the finish line jump, back across the starting line again.
Jeremy McGrath and Ezra Lusk, the qualifying heat winners on our Suzuki starting lineup. As we go down the many riders, Ron Cotta back after injury. Sebastian Tortelli making the main along with Kevin Windham through the semifinal route. Round 13 is underway. Kevin Windham gets the SFX.com hole shot money, but look at that. Ricky Carmichael immediately takes the lead. Carmichael, number 14, Windham. Then number 21, another impressive start. And number 5, Michael Rocco. They're all in front of Jeremy McGrath.
Great start for Windham, but he had to go wide in the first corner to try to beat Carmichael into the corner. And big hole tied it up. Ricky right underneath him. So it really doesn't matter if Ricky doesn't get the hole shot. He's so good, like McGrath has been through the years, at getting to the lead quick.
Firing through the whoops, Morocco changing lanes in midstream. Ricky Carmichael though now. Can he pull away from Kevin Windham and Mike Morocco?
Well, this is a big chance for Morocco to stay pretty close to Carmichael in the early going. You know, usually Morocco's back in about 7th or 8th. His starts have gotten so much better. He got the whole shot last time. He's close enough now to stay this way that when he starts to really turn it on the last 10 laps, he'll be able to have Carmichael sight all this. That's a big bonus for Carmichael out front. He's just glad to see Ron Cotta back there, making it harder for everyone to get close.
As we went by that big plateau, Tortelli was stopped once again after going down. So Sebastian Tortelli just adding to his woes. Looks like he might be out of the race. Here's Larocco, McGrath, and Lusk.
Look at the difference the start makes. Wow, look at Lusk over that double jump.
Lusk to the inside. Ezra Lusk. Oh, he looks good.
You know, it's that little double jump before the mechanics area. Jeremy hasn't been doing it. Lusk takes his time right up there, gets a nice little blip in the throttle and explosion in the clutch. Pops right up over it and is able to make the pass. So obviously it's a faster line. Lusk has been able to do it every lap.
You made brief mention of the battle he had with Carmichael in practice. His old friend RC couldn't catch him. Morocco, Lusk, McGrath all within a half second of one another. Ezra Lusk is looking like he did back in 1998 and 99 when he took second. Now he puts the challenge to Larocco. Larocco slips the block pass. Larocco bobbles. Lusk takes the advantage.
It seems like no matter what you try to do to hold Lusk off, he's got another line up his sleeve right there coming out of the inside, doubling right in front of Larocco. That pass is made now. He's on his way to catch Windham.
Morocco bobbles coming out of that rhythm section, and McGrath is right on his back leather. Here comes Ezra Lusk, working for second place against Kevin Windham. Ezra Lusk, oh, good power, good turn, and Ezra moves into second as we look back at Tortelli.
Look how close Ezra runs to the edge of the racetrack. He likes to do that, especially in the whoop section. How's that acceleration? I mean, in a 10-foot run, he's jumping a 30-foot double right there. That's where he was able to make the pass on McGrath. Look at his back end kick out of these loops. Every lap his back end kicks and he just skids it right up into that berm, pops the clutch, and he's out of it.
And it happens every time.
He just expects it. Looking to going this fast. Getting squirrely here and there just becomes normal. It doesn't bother you anymore. Look at the Rocco just steals that position from Windham. Windham's going, where did you come from? That's a completely new line out of there.
So Mike Larocco moves into third. It's Carmichael, Lusk, and Larocco. Honda's in second and third. They're looking for their first win on the season.
I know it's a big if. That's what everyone's been saying. But if Larocco could start the race at the pace he's found right now, what a different season we'd be looking at. Because Larocco has the speed. At times he's faster than Carmichael at the end of the race. But the first 5 laps will kill him every time.
Here's an incredible fact for you. This is Larocco's 175th career 250 start. Ties the all-time leader, Larry Ward. 175 races, David.
know if I will that many altogether. You know, Mike really represents the possibility that his motocross careers don't have to be so short. I mean, he's had some injuries, sure, but he worked through them all. And from the way LaRocco's riding, the kind of shape he's in right now, he could ride 2 or 3 more years if he wanted, still be finishing up here in the top 3 every time.
Well, it used to be if you were over 25, look out. And if you were married, that was even worse.
Yep, well, here's a stat for you. The last married guy that won a Supercross, I think it was John Dowd.
I think it was John Dowd at Charlotte.
Yep.
Chad Watts making sure Ricky knows where Yogi is. Ezra Lusk.
I think he knows. Every time he comes out of corners, heads into another one, these guys get a glimpse at each other. They'll look at the board, but they want to see each other. They get their own little gauge. Ricky knows that right now it's staying about the same. Lusk picked up a little bit a lap ago, but then Ricky stretched it back out.
I think the time it gets boring for him is the time he loses focus and all of a sudden something happens. There's the white flag. The final lap for Ricky Carmichael. And the final lap as well for Jeremy McGrath.
He's not really threatened for position, and he really can't make one up either. It's kind of going to be 2 weeks in a row not finishing on the podium. Big disappointment.
Second week in a row in 4th position. You're absolutely correct, David.
Ricky can afford to cruise a little bit right here. Look at Chad on the way by. Yeah, we did it again. 10 in a row.
So the mystique evidently continues to build, as well as the pressure, as his win streak quite possibly will continue. We better wait till he gets out of these whoops, however, to say that.
Yeah, they through their thing. There's far to go now. This crowd has stood the entire main event. A very educated crowd here in the Silverdome with so much history.
Carmichael will become the 3rd rider to win a 125 and a 250 race here at the checkered flag. Ricky Carmichael does it again. Carmichael with a 46-point lead on 2nd place. McGrath, LaRocco 3rd, Wyndham and Lusk rounding out the top 5.
Feels good, you know. I was up to a rough start after that last lap heat race crash, and I just tried to go a little too fast, and the 250 bit me in the butt. But you know, I turned it around for the main event, and those whoops were really tough. I was kind of struggling them all day, and Ezra was really flying through there, man. I tell you, he was on the gas there, and I knew I had to go fast, you know, or else he was going to eat me up there. And luckily, I got out in front of Kevin and pulled a little lead, and had to ride hard because he was coming.
You know, whenever he's turning the same exact lap times, it's kind of tough. And I knew I was going to be going good in the whoops, but I knew he had really good corner speed too, so I tried to put everything together. Really focus tonight, put it all together. I had a little bit of help this week with a friend of David Bailey's, and I think it helped out. I felt really awesome. But I got to thank Universal Studios, Fox, Honda, Scott, USA, and my beautiful wife, and everybody for supporting me in the year off.
The track here at Texas Stadium will not break down. It's solid as a rock. We'll see blue grooves. About the only place to pass really is the whoop section, and they are vicious. Let's take a look at the speed stick track map. David Bailey.
Very technical track here in Dallas. Beginning with the start, you see coming across at an angle into a tight first corner. I expect to see a little bit of action there. Down the next straightaway, a lot of different options. But the most difficult section so far today has been the whoop section right here as they come through this way. We'll take a look on board with Pedro Gonzalez. This is the approach to the whoops. Going to jump up over this double. You see some whoops going down the backside there. Now you got to clear this double to get a good run. And down the right side. These are almost 3 feet deep, and there's about 15 of them in a row. Guys are having a tough time maintaining the momentum all the way through there. Over this double, you've got to clear that in order to get a good run at the 70-foot triple. Look at the air they get through there. Pedro dives to the inside, doubles through here. Triples that, dives right back to the inside, and you can see any of the places that are a little bit lighter in color as he goes over this next triple. Those are slippery spots. It's going to get worse as the day continues. Approaching the mechanics area where they'll get their signal. They come through this right-hand corner, look to their left, get the signal. This is the next whoop section right before the finish. You see those NGK tough blocks right in the middle. That's just to separate these guys in practice so they don't develop one line through there. Look at this finish line job. Huge.
Jeremy McGrath with a $500,000 bonus on the line in the Vance Triple Crown, and Ricky Carmichael, he's got the title on the line. As we take a look at the Suzuki starting lineup, There you see Ferry and Tortelli also qualifying high. Michael Byrne has done an outstanding job coming to this race as a privateer. Voss, Michael Craig, Robbie Rayner, James Povolny, all in that starting lineup along with Stefan Roncada despite his problems in qualifying. We're off and running. Lusk with a great start. Number 11. Ricky Carmichael's right there with him. And, oh, it's Mike LaRocco down underneath the pile.
Unfortunately, he's got Kevin Windham, last year's winner, collected in that. So those guys are out of the picture. There's no way they can catch this battle. And here goes Lusk again. Look at him. He's gone.
What a great start. Just like the qualifying round. But now, will he pull away from number 4, Ricky Carmichael?
Carmichael won't get tired, that's for sure. I know Ezra's tough, but Ricky has proved to us all that he's got tremendous strength for 20 laps and speed. McGrath is back there behind Voss. What a start for Voss.
Lusk, RC, Voss, Byrne, McGrath moving on Voss now. But Carmichael is pulling up on our leader, Ezra Lusk. Ricky learned so much in qualifying and in practice. Here they go. To the inside, Carmichael bar to bar. Another look at the start.
Watch this, LaRocco just clips the back wheel of Lusk, who's in a drag race. And there's LaRocco right there on the bottom of that stack. Here's another look from Pedro. Pedro comes in on the outside, a lot like the heat race. He gets shoved wide, and watch Kevin, nowhere to go. He's down, Pedro runs into the back of him, and they got these things stacked like hotcakes while this race takes off and runs away from you.
It's got to be a depressing moment for number 5, Mike LaRocco, who's been riding so well in main events recently as we hang on to the helmet cam of Pedro Gonzalez. Here comes Ricky Carmichael to the ropes. Carmichael to the inside. Carmichael takes the lead away from Ezra Lusk.
That was just too easy. Ezra, surprised he went wide there. That inside's been a better line. He knows that. I just don't think he thought Carmichael had that great of a run on him. Ezra's been faster through the whoops all day, but here in the main event, like always, Ricky's stepped it up, caught him by surprise.
But look at Ezra. He's hanging tight with the young Ricky Carmichael. Here comes Ezra now in the whoop section. He's got the inside move. Can he block pass him? No, bar to bar instead. Oh, a little slip by Ezra. Ricky turns back to see where he is as he cuts across a little bit on the track. Ricky Carmichael retaining the lead on Ezra Lusk, but a great battle underway here in Dallas.
The crowd is going nuts right now and see somebody challenge Ricky. They're on their feet. Watch Ezra into this corner. He'll clear this entire plateau. Now it's really slippery. Gets on braking, loses the front wheel a little bit. Not a bad crash. Goes right for the clutch, keeps it running. He's right back up and going. Another one of those deals for LaRocco where if he'd have got up front in the beginning, he may have been a threat. He must be getting sick of that. Whoa, good save. LaRocco at the top of the screen right there, just going for a wild ride in the whoops, but he keeps it on 2 wheels.
He's going for his 8th podium. We're on the final lap for Ricky Carmichael. Championship written all over his face.
Had to make Chad nervous in the mechanics area, seeing Lusk go down twice, going, no, we need those points. Stay ahead of McGrath. Ricky just needed to get out front and just hope that things worked out the way they have so far behind him. If Lusk can keep it on 2 wheels and beat McGrath with the checkered flag, the championship is Ricky's.
This title, very timely. His contract is up this year. It's been rumored that he's got a $6 million 3-year deal coming from Honda with a possible signing bonus of $1 million. Thank you, Jeremy McGrath. I say that because Jeremy set the monetary standard as well as the skill level in this sport.
There you go. That 2001 Supercross championship is going to give him a lot of leverage at the bargaining table. I think all the factories are talking to Ricky. It's just that Honda's the one people are looking at the most. They want to get in on the ground floor of what could be a long run for Ricky.
The checkers for Ricky Carmichael, the 2001 250 Supercross champion. A night for a title. Ricky Carmichael's 250 Supercross championship. Lusk, McGrath, Mike LaRocco coming all the way from last to 4th.
It feels awesome. I'm kind of speechless, you know. I've been so dang nervous the whole season stress, I should say, and it was a hard one tonight, and I'm so happy. I don't know what to say, you know. I just kind of a lump in my throat, and it was a lot of hard work. Well.
As he takes a 51-point advantage, gaining the crown, LaRocco is getting a push by Lusk in the points list. This is the first appearance of EA Sports Supercross in Salt Lake City. The fans are loving it. And as they cruise the pits, the riders are touring the track. So let's check out our Speed Stick track map with David Bailey.
It all starts with a 75-yard drag race to the first corner right here. You can see the big triple jumps on each side of the racetrack here. A very difficult whoop section as they approach the finish line right there. But earlier this afternoon, Pedro Gonzalez gave us a closer look at the track. This is coming right out of the first corner. A difficult rhythm section down the next straightaway. A lot of different options through there of double jumps and plateaus. But the big story here, you can see the rocks everywhere. It's going to be real difficult to pick a line and not run your front wheel over one of those rocks, because it'll take the front wheel right out from underneath you. Here he dives to the inside. This is the approach to the first triple. You see the ruts developing all in the face of that triple there. He's only able to double it. You will have to triple that in the race to have any chance at the win. Look how chewed up that berm is right there. Half this track is in powder. The rest of it looks like a street that somebody took a jackhammer to. This is the other triple. Clears that one no problem. It's actually been pretty windy here this afternoon. If it doesn't die down later, that will be a tailwind as he jumps that triple. This is the whoop section approaching the finish. And those are even more difficult because of the ruts. Over the big finish line jump, as soon as he goes over that, they'll make a right, go back into the first turn, and do it all again.
Coming toward the gate, number 4, Ricky Carmichael, as we get set for our main event. That's David Villeman, number 934, right behind him. Jeremy is already at the gate.
Yeah, they are. The team. These guys have been a dominant force this year. A lot of success, all the outdoor titles. And look at that lineup. Jeez, this is going to be good.
The Suzuki lineup, Tim Ferry, Ricky Carmichael, the heat winners, Jeremy McGrath, Ezra Lusk. And you see them lined up there as they chose their gate positions. It's McGrath, Ferry number 15, Tortelli 13, for Carmichael, and then Lusk. So Team Honda has bookend Ricky Carmichael.
They have, and Lusk is all the way to the inside of that group. He had the whole shot in this heat race and hit neutral. I don't expect that to happen again. If all those guys come off the line even, I'd want to be in Lusk's shoes on the inside there.
Jeremy McGrath gets the whole shot, but old Ezra Lusk got pinched into a hay bale.
I don't
The
believe
tough block that took him out, I think.
Now that's twice tonight. I don't believe it. McGrath, he got the start he needed, and I'll tell you what, he moved over quite a bit on everybody. I think I'd have done the same thing if I was in his shoes, but Ezra got the short end of that deal.
So McGrath gets the SFX.com whole shot money. It's McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, Kevin Windham, Tim Ferry. They're all right there. Roncada Laraco as well.
Boy, look at the inspiring, look at McGrath. Pulls his tearaway. It looks like the McGrath we've always seen, the dominant. He's on the power. He actually pulls time on Ricky Carmichael coming out of that corner, and his record is on the line. He's not going to give it up easy.
A great start by Jeremy McGrath.
Has to go to the inside right there. That's not the fastest line, but if he'd have gone wide, Ricky would have just stole the inside, taken over the lead. He's got to ride defensive as long as these guys are this close.
Windham is hanging with the leaders. He's taking a roost there from Carmichael. Oh, they bump wheels. Windham on the inside. Bar to bar for second place. Ricky Carmichael accelerates by him and they go over the triple jump. Oh my goodness. McGrath's still the leader, but Carmichael is getting a battle royal for second place.
This is the best that I've seen Jeremy ride all day. It's only a couple laps old, but the way he's getting on the power out of the corners, watch how early he's on the gas. Just roosting dirt up over the top of the berm. Got a little gap right here. He was losing time in the whoops earlier this afternoon. They've fixed that problem.
Look at Ferry. Ferry puts the block pass on Windham. We've got a four-way battle for the lead, really. And the remarkable fact is, Carmichael's in fourth now, David.
This may be the end of his streak. How the heck's he going to get around these three guys? You know, Devin, he looks inspired right now. You know, he hasn't been on the radar screen for the last few weeks, but now look at him. He's still in this, and it's not like he's out front dealing with the pressure. He may have a little pressure from Ricky if Ricky can close the gap again, but right now he's the one putting it on these guys. I know I say that a lot, but here's how Ricky got dropped. He made a mistake, wasn't able to do the triple. So there goes Ferry. Watch Wyndham sneak in there. Drops him to 4th.
And he makes the pass on Jeremy. Now look out. That's a sign that Ricky's wants to make his move.
He's recovered. It was only a mistake, right, coming down this straightaway. He actually jumped too far off of that right there. Could do this triple, but he's recovered. So it's not over yet, but Ferry is pulling away. Ricky can see that. He's got to get around Wyndham and try to catch it. Jeremy couldn't do anything about Ferry in the heat race. He pulled away. And Ferry's heat race, just in case you're wondering, was 5 seconds faster than Carmichael. So Ricky knows he's got to get around Wyndham and challenge Ferry now, or he might not be able to catch him.
Making a high altitude in a 20-lap main event is a lot different than an 8-lap qualifier, too. Tim Ferry is leading, Wyndham in 2nd, Carmichael in 3rd. Now, I think the odds have got to be swinging toward number 4.
They do. I think he's in better shape than both these guys. I'm not saying these guys are not in shape. Wyndham may be in the best shape of the year right now. Ferry obviously is in good shape. He wouldn't have been able to have such a strong heat race and then follow that up with the way he's ridden so far here. But look at this. We're in lap 7. This is when you just begin to feel the altitude. You start to lose your breath. You can't recover. I think Ricky has got a little bit more under the hood than these guys do in the physical training. We've seen it all year.
You see the Honda interval. Wyndham has picked up on Tim Ferry. Here comes Wyndham. Fishtailing. You can, says the signboard from Ali Seymour, Wyndham's mechanic. Wyndham makes the pass. Here comes Ferry back again. The lapper gets out of the way wisely. Wyndham bar to bar now with Ferry down the whoops in the timing section. Kevin Wyndham has taken the lead. Carmichael is in striking position. Ferry back again. Rubbing plastic. Carmichael right there. Wyndham off the plateau. Wyndham on the triple. Ferry couldn't triple. And Carmichael moves into 2nd.
Can you believe this kid? I'm impressed with Wyndham right now. Let me tell you, this is an excellent ride for him. But still, the resolve of Carmichael, I mean, it looked like when he got dropped to 4th, that was it. Look at him fight back.
Here comes Carmichael in the whoops. Will we have a 4th leader in this race? McGrath led the first 5 laps. Ferry took over, then Wyndham. Wyndham block passes on Carmichael. Carmichael to the inside. Ricky Carmichael finally takes the lead.
That's about the fastest you can ever go around the corner. Ricky set that up perfect. Wyndham, he knew what was coming. He knew Ricky was going to try to square him off. He went around that corner perfect. Ricky just went around there. I don't think there's a word for the way he went through that first corner to grab the lead. Now he overjumps that triple, lands hard. It just doesn't matter. This kid, I think the difference right here between Ricky and Wyndham, besides the momentum coming into this event, is that if Ricky were to get 2nd right now, he'd be wanting to put his fist through the wall. And I don't know that Kevin has that kind of determination. I think if Kevin were to get 2nd right here, that would be a good ride for him. And that's the difference.
LaRocco, he's getting antsy. He's making his move now. Ricky Carmichael, Wyndham, Ferry, LaRocco. Boy, we've seen some great racing. And we're only halfway done. And he's getting hounded by Ezra Lusk.
Well, he stalled it a couple of laps ago and gave up quite a bit of time. That's what helped Ezra get up this close. But think about this. Jeremy was leading the race.
Ezra, I don't think there's a better rider in the whoops than Ezra Lusk right now.
He may be the fastest rider on the track. His lap times have matched Carmichael's out front all the way. He's even split the battle out in the lead. It's just unfortunate that he got hung up in the first corner. But what I like, once again, like the heat race, he hasn't given up.
Well, it could be a salary charge. His contract is up just like Carmichael's. Carmichael a little bit different position, however, than Ezra Lusk. Ezra Lusk looking for opportunity to get around Jeremy McGrath, and here is Ricky Carmichael battling it out with another lapper. He's looking back saying, hey, wait a minute.
Get out of the way.
This is my race.
Look at this. Ferry is putting on a charge last lap.
Ferry has done a remarkable job. At one section of the track,
He's down to 1.3 seconds behind Carmichael. Can't give up on Ferry now.
Well, I think we know that Ferry is in shape. You can't fake your way through a race, but it took this much energy. The way he rode his heat race, he woke up this morning with a sore neck. We're at altitude, and he's still forcing Ricky to ride a perfect last lap.
Carmichael knows he's there. Chad Watts putting the pit board out, saying, you know, pick it up, pick it up.
No wave into the crowd over that last triple.
The checkers for Carmichael. He keeps the streak alive. And still, we have only 2 winners on the season.
Ricky Carmichael gets one closer to Jeremy McGrath's seasonal win records. Tim Ferry, he becomes only the 6th rider this year to get on the podium.
But that was definitely why a lot of passing going on, a lot of mistakes on my behalf. And, you know, I think I was able to stay strong there at the end. I think that's what pulled me through.
Ricky Carmichael with a 61-point lead over Jeremy McGrath. LaRocco getting the edge on Lusk for 3rd. Wyndham sits in 5th. And Ferry coming on strong in 6th. Packed house here in Sam Boyd Stadium is anxiously awaiting the finale of Supercross history. David, how about the speed stick track map?
Art, when I arrived this afternoon, I was just listening to everyone talk about, oh, the track doesn't go outside the stadium like last year. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tough for passing. But the first look I got at the racetrack, I loved it because what they've done with the corners is open everything up. It's going to make it much better for passing. And you can see right there at the bottom of the screen, the start, a little shorter than what we normally see. The first corner is going to be tight. The next straightaway is just filled with jumps, one right after the other. It's going to be crazy looking to see the different timing the guys have through there, especially on the first lap. See the first triple there in orange. They work their way back around to the next triple. And then the long whoop section right there highlighted in blue. These guys say, oh, it's not as bad as normal, but I have a feeling it's going to rut up and be pretty difficult. Make a right-hander and head on up to the finish line jump. But my favorite corner is that long sweeper through the starting line back into the first corner.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup and the riders that made it to the main event. Of course, Jeremy McGrath. He had the best qualifying time, better than Ricky Carmichael's. Mike LaRocco, Stefan Roncada. His fellow Frenchman, David Villeman, also with an impressive ride in qualifying. Kevin Wyndham, Sebastian Tortelli will have our helmet cam on throughout the race. Heath Voss on that 4-stroke. Ferry, Byrne, McCormick, Kyle Lewis, Gonzalez, Waugh out of Canada, Pavoni, Michael Craig, Hoffmaster, Hodges, Huffman, and Jason Thomas. That's quite a lineup for the final race of the EA Sports Supercross season.
2 guys that are really the story here tonight next to each other.
Cam McGrath stopped the win streak of Ricky Carmichael as we get set for our main event from Las Vegas, and we're off. McGrath, Carmichael battling it out. But it's Ferry and Voss in the 4 strokes with McGrath in 2nd place. Villeman is in 4th behind Ferry, LaRocco, and then buried is Ricky Carmichael.
What an opportunity for McGrath right here to get around Voss, if he can do it, before Ferry gets around him, with Carmichael back in the pack.
Here comes McGrath to the inside, but the 4-stroke gets by.
Ferry is right on his tail.
Well, they're coming to the section where Voss has really struggled. Jeremy knows it. Voss knows it. Ferry knows it. It's a drag race for the whoops.
Here comes McGrath to take the lead in the whoop section. Ferry on the left. And it's the 2 Yamahas battling the 4-stroke. Look at Ferry. Ferry bar to bar with McGrath.
We've got some good riders in front of Carmichael, who's moved up to 4th.
Unbelievable first lap for Carmichael. He's picked off about 4 guys to get in this position to stay in contact with these guys. Needs to get through Voss. Try not to lose any time to Jeremy and Ferry right here. Fitness will play a part. This is 20 laps. It's hot.
LaRocco went down, and I think we have a shot of that as LaRocco is back up and running, however. Take a look.
That's Carmichael blitzing through the whoops. Watch LaRocco over to the right of the screen. He goes into the corner.
Ouch.
Sets the front wheel down a little early. Villeman just does a head plant.
McGrath slides out. Carmichael, he takes the lead for the first time in the race.
That's the kind of pressure Jeremy's been putting on everybody else for years.
He just forces you to worry. Next thing you know, you're making uncharacteristic mistakes, unforced errors, killing everyone.
49.2.
Watch Jeremy. He gets into the corner. He knows that Ricky's coming. He tries to get on the gas a little bit early.
And
Ricky
it's
just
back here in Las Vegas. Boy, you can slip and slide on it.
nothing Jeremy could do about that.
With a great battle here for fifth.
Well, you want to see that new four-stroke Honda? There it is.
You can hear it.
We're looking at this from Tortelli. This is down the long straightaway. Triple that. Should triple again. Can't quite do it, but Boss does.
Listen to that engine.
Making a little bit too sharp of a pivot in most of these bowl corners where Ricky's kind of swinging all the way around to the outside, maintaining his momentum. Then when he gets on the power, he's already got a little bit more momentum, so it's not as radical of an acceleration change, so he doesn't get as much wheel spin. See, Jeremy tries to cut it real tight. Ricky rolls around there at a bigger arc. He's maintaining more momentum.
Boy, look at that. McGrath is not giving up at all. He's giving it his all through the loops.
Boy, you can see just right there. He'll be happy with the way he's ridden, but he's going to be bummed to see that record tied. Ricky gets through that section clean. So does McGrath this time. No lappers in sight. The next person they catch on the racetrack was at the end of that straightaway we just saw, and it's LaRocco.
Man against man now for the record. Ricky Carmichael has had one more race than Jeremy McGrath had when he set the record.
Finally, through that corner, approaches the triple. Jeremy gets through there good. And it was Ricky that bobbled a little bit. And Jeremy's got that whoop section dialed. If he can get close enough, that could be a drag race through there.
2 laps he puts on the pit board.
That was a 50-second, pretty much 50-second flat. Jeremy, 49.9. These guys are pushing as hard as they can. They're not even tired. What's that mean? It doesn't matter. Just give it everything you've got.
Jeremy's letting it all hang out now. Carmichael cannot afford a mistake.
He is riding absolutely as hard as he can go. 2 laps from now, less than 2 minutes. Jeremy's season is over. He can't afford to leave anything out here. He's got to give it all. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go down somewhere in a corner, just trying to get on the gas a little early, giving it everything he's got.
Look at Carmichael go through those whoops.
Jeremy's got nothing to lose here.
White flag, final lap now. Ricky Carmichael on the verge of tying Jeremy McGrath's consecutive win streak, as well as total wins during a season. The fans are on their feet cheering.
They both get through that section with fastest rhythm.
A historic season, a historic evening.
Boy, the pressure Carmichael must feel right now. So much at stake for him. He wants this so bad, Arctic. A second, oh, look at the front wheel, almost washing out. If he was second right here, he'd want to put his fist through the wall. So would Jeremy. He wants it just as bad.
Carmichael looking for his 15th win. His 14th on the season. The checkers for Ricky Carmichael. History is tied. He ties McGrath's seasonal records, 13 straight, 14 total wins.
Look at these guys join. Total respect.
McGrath has to be proud of his appearance and performance as Ricky Carmichael. You know he's a happy young man. Tying a record I thought wouldn't be broken for 10, 15 years.